I'm Shida.
And I'm Salina.
We are both from
Biopros
Group.
Today we are going to present about
Solid waste in the perspective of municipal solid waste management.
without further ado.
On behalf of the group, I will start with the outlines of our presentation for today. In this presentation, in the first topic, we are going to touch on the introduction of municipal solid waste. Secondly, we are going to touch on municipal solid waste management pathways. Following that, the third topic would be on the way forward. And last but not least, we are going to make a brief conclusion about municipal solid waste management. In general, solid waste can be divided into 5 different groups. First, municipal solid waste. Second, electronic waste. Third, construction and demolition waste. Fourth, biomedical waste. Fifth, hazardous and toxic waste. In this presentation, we are going to focus more on municipal waste, which consists of household waste and commercial waste. This graph shows an overview of municipal solid waste generated per capita from 2004 to 2012 in 36 European countries. According to the data shown here, we can see that Ireland and United Kingdom shares the same municipal solid waste generation reduction trend from 2004 to 2012. Conversely, different scenario is illustrated for the waste generation trend for Croatia and Albania. Therefore, the successful of waste reduction strategy of both Ireland and UK triggers the curiosity for us to know what kind of effective measures that have been implemented by them to achieve the goal. In this review, we are going to see what are the efficient waste plans that have been taken by the Ireland government. One of the waste reduction strategies made by the Ireland government is to regulate effective waste policies as shown in this figure. Besides that, major increase in landfill levy and increasing in municipal solid waste recycling activities from 2001 to 2010 are also strategies formulated by the Ireland government to reduce waste generation. A more detailed explanation on the Ireland government waste plan will be explained in the later part of this presentation. Now, let us look at how the municipal solid waste management in Malaysia fits in among the Asian countries. Malaysia falls under the middle income countries in Asia. The data collected depicted an increasing trend in municipal solid waste urban generation expected from 1995 to 2025, with a value of 0.81 kg per capita per day to 1.4 kg per capita per day. The rest of middle-income countries share the same estimated waste generation pattern with Malaysia. On the other hand, Japan is expected to show positive results in its municipal solid waste reduction from 1.47 kg per capita per day to 1.3 kg per capita per day. This trend is similar to Ireland, and therefore it would be an interesting finding to know the secret behind their success in reducing municipal solid waste generation. In Malaysia, the cost of managing municipal solid waste is very high. Malaysian government has spent about 30% to 80% of its local authorities' revenue for solid waste management. In addition, 20.9 million ringgit Malaysia, funded by the federal government, was used to develop 9 sanitary landfills and upgrade 27 existing landfills. Next, the 7 Malaysian Plan, which is legislated between 1995 to 2000, has funded 17 million ringgit Malaysia to purchase 7 mini incinerators with a capacity of 5 to 20 ton per day. This data shown that municipal solid waste management is very pricey, and therefore more effective waste reduction strategies should have been prioritized. Knowing that Malaysia is expected to have an increase in its waste generation in 2025, we wanted to know which state in the country that contributes the largest volume of municipal solid waste. A comparative study done by Aja et al. In 2014 has reported that Selangor is the number one state which has the largest municipal solid waste generation with 2,826.5 tons per day in the year of 2000 and 4,021.2 tons per day in the year of 2010. However, unlike Selangor, wilayah Persekutuan Labuan shows the least volume of municipal solid waste generation from 2000 to 2010 with 46 tons per day to 91.4 tons per day respectively. The variation in municipal solid waste generation within different states of Malaysia is caused by multiple factors, including the size of population and its industrial activities. Just a quick recap, municipal solid waste encompasses of household waste as well as commercial waste. The composition of municipal solid waste is a mixture of material from these two wastes which include yard glass, pampers and wood. The data collected here in 2011 by Chua et al. Has portrayed that food waste and organics are the largest components found in municipal solid waste in Malaysia from 2001 to 2010. As the food and organic waste is the champion in dominating the municipal solid waste, we wanted to explore more on what are the materials classified under this type of waste. Based on this diagram, we can see that organic waste comprises of kitchen waste, agro waste, vegetable waste and garden waste. Now, I will pass the next presentation to Salina.
Figure 1 shows a timeline of the solid waste management transition in Malaysia since 1988 until 2015. Action Plan for Beautiful Clean Malaysia ABC 1988 was the first federalised solid waste management introduced by the Ministry of Housing and Land Government. The actions are more focusing on waste management at all regions, either urban and semi-urban area, without potentially create public, worker and environmental problems. Also, treated municipal solid waste as the resources by recycling instead of burying or burying municipal solid waste in the land. After that, on 1991, a Malaysian version 2020 has been introduced. A Rio Declaration has been signed on 1992 show Malaysia is committed and respect the interests for all effort and protect the integrity of global environmental and development system in the global stage. During Nation Plans on 2001 until 2005, two major plans has been proposed. A third outline perspective plan and national strategic plan for solid waste management on 2005. The Nation Plan are more focusing on 3R policies. 3R is stand for reduce, reuse and recycling the waste, and then conducting relevant studies by responsible institutions, and also demonstrate project includes viability and acceptability of recycle industry. Meanwhile, on 9 Malaysia plans, National Solid Waste Management Department and National Solid Waste Management has been introduced to promote comprehensive, integrated, cost-effective, sustainable and social acceptable solid waste management according to the solid waste management hierarchy. Therefore, on 10 Malaysian Plan, Ministry of Natural Resources and Environmental collaborated with UTM to develop Environmental Performance Index to measure the environmental management for each region in Malaysia.
Now, we are moving on to the next topic, which is municipal solid waste management pathways. In managing municipal solid waste, generally there are 5 stages that are required. First is waste generation, second is waste collection, third is waste transportation, and next is waste recovery or treatment, including recycling to produce added value products, and last but not least, the final stage in municipal solid waste management pathway is waste disposal. After the waste being generated, the next step would be waste collection. In Malaysia, the waste collection service has been privatized to the responsible bodies. First, SWM Enviro Sdn Bhd is responsible to take care of the waste collection in the southern part of Malaysia, while Idaman taking care of the northern part of Malaysia. Alam Flora Sdn Bhd, on the other hand, is taking care of the waste collection in the central and eastern part of Malaysia, while Eastern Waste Management Sdn Bhd is responsible for the waste collection in the east coast of Malaysia. The Malaysian government has implemented several regulations in collection and transportation of municipal solid waste. First is the 2+1 collection system, in which 2 days are designated for the residual waste collection, while 1 day is assigned for bulky and green waste collection. Second is the standardization of waste bin and garbage collection trucks. Third is the KPI collection schedule, in which the government would see and monitor the performance of each responsible firms. Fourth is the leachate, spillage and cleansing regulation. I will pass the next presentation to Salina.
According to the diagram, there are two types of treatment available for solid waste management. First one is the thermochemical treatment. Under this treatment, we have three types of method available for waste treatment. First is gasification, second one the incineration, and the last one is pyrolysis. This method will be explained detailed by Shida. But now, I will cover the explanation on topics of biological treatment for solid waste. Under this part, we have the two types of biological method offered for municipal solid waste, a composting method and anaerobic digestion method. As naturally, both methods occur together for waste degradation process, but it differs to the certain conditions such as oxygen consumption, thermophilic temperature, microbial involved, and also the major product from this treatment. This is one of example how they convert the municipal solid waste or animal dung to another beneficial product. A solid waste taking several process for collecting, separating and treatment process. Collecting solid waste will transfer into hopper tank that functionally to separate the solid waste by gravity unload from liquid produced from pre-collected through solid waste. A liquid after that will transfer into mixing tank. Meanwhile, for the undissolved material will further mechanical action to reduce size of waste in separator or crusher. Before we combine into liquid in the mixing tank to allow the aeration process. In the gravity separator, a density factor will be considered. Therefore, a gravity sedimentation method will apply to separate inert materials such as sands or rock into the collection tank before with settlement in the landfill. Meanwhile, a slurry form will further conversion process into acid fermentation tank to convert slurry or soluble product into a simple organic acid such as acetic acid and butanoic acid by acetogenesis bacteria in the anaerobic reaction. The methane fermenter used to convert the organic acid into methane gas by the metagenesis process or reduction of carbon dioxide and hydrogen gases with respect to certain conditions. Methane gas were collecting in biomass collector to further purification process to eliminate hazardous gases such as hydrogen sulfide and nitrous before we utilize into boiler and power generator. In the process of sludge storage, we used to separate the total solid waste of residual product from previous conversion process. By considering the density factor, water will discharge from tank to further wastewater treatment for reducing concentration of chemical oxygen demand, suspended solid and other parameters considered. Meanwhile, sludge waste with further separation process in bell screw press. Or filtration might be applied due to effective way to separate large solid particles. As normally, either fermentation process or dewatering process will use continuous rotary filter or rotary recompressor pre-coats to sludge cake deposition of solid waste deposition of solid into filter surface. In process, usually a small amount of coagulant agent or filter aid will be added to waste before pumped into the filter. As drum rotated under vacuum condition, the thin layer waveforms and thickness of layer increase by time to produce a cake. A sludge cake after it will allow the further aerobic composting process for compost product, which give benefits to agriculture or benefit or improve soil fertility. Generally, in nature, a composting process are slow. The process involves a symbiotic relationship between animal and plant. A small animal such as a snail, mite, beetle, and earthworm will eat and grind the organic waste into smaller pieces, which indirectly provide less surface area to allow better biodegradation process by microorganism activity. A microbial such as the Penicillium miliae species will consume oxygen to hydrolyze organic compound into soluble form during aerobic reaction. For example, a complex structure of starch will decay into simple glucose structure. Meanwhile, for macro structure of protein and fat will hydrolyze into simple amino acid and fatty acid structure. Once the oxygen consumption are exhausted, anaerobic reaction will take place to further biodegradation process. A bacterium, which are acid-forming bacteria, will further acidogenesis process to convert glucose, amino acid, and fatty acid into simple organic acid. Ethanol and ammonia and also carbon dioxide might be occur, but it depending on the substrate composition. Therefore, the process will further by acidogenesis bacteria, such as Bacillus species, to convert organic acid molecule into single structure of acetic acid and other byproducts such as carbon dioxide and hydrogen gases. Finally, methane will be produced during metagenesis process, a reduction process of acetic acid into methane by metagenesis bacteria, or reaction between carbon dioxide and hydrogen gases in nature.
The second type of recovery or treatment stage is the thermochemical treatment. First is gasification. In this gasification method, limited air or oxygen is being used. High temperature, which is 600 degree and 1000 degree, is applied into the reactor. Syngas, which is produced from the reaction, consists of hydrogen, carbon monoxide, and carbon dioxide. This syngas next can be used to generate power through the operation of gas turbine. The second thermochemical method is incineration. In this incineration process, excess air is utilized in order to cause combustion of municipal solid waste that would produce steam. This steam next can be used to generate heat and electricity. Clean exhaust gas, on the other hand, would be released to the environment via chimney. Recyclable materials would go through the recycling process, while fly ash would be processed before being sent to the landfill. The third thermochemical treatment is pyrolysis process. This process can be divided into three components. First, pyrolysis reactor. Second, char combustor. Third, pyrolysis oil condenser. In this process, there is absence of oxygen and air. In the pyrolysis reactor, the heated sand would be fed into the cone-shaped reactor, and the vapor produced from this reaction would go through the pyrolysis oil condenser, in which the vapors would be condensed to produce oil. The diagram shows the difference between incineration or combustion, gasification, and pyrolysis. Based on this diagram, we can say that pyrolysis is a more beneficial method in terms of thermochemical treatment, as it can produce oil compared to other thermochemical treatments which can only produce gas and ash. The tabulated data here shows number of facilities available for biological and thermochemical treatments in Malaysia. In biological treatment, only anaerobic digestion facilities have shown a record of 166 operational landfills, while there is no data found for composting facilities. In the second treatment, which is thermochemical treatment, only the incineration method has shown a record of 7 mini incinerators available in Malaysia, while there is no data found for gasification and pyrolysis process. I will pass the next presentation to Salina.
According to the figure, a costing comparison for final disposal method in Malaysia, we can see the landfill has been chosen as the alternative way to settle down a municipal solid waste due to low costing operating compared with the incineration and composting technology, which is around RM35 per metric tons are required for waste management. Meanwhile, for incineration and composting technology requires 500 and 216 for metric ton. The advantages of landfill process. Since we know the degradation process occurs at landfill will produce methane, high concentration of methane able to generate power electricity by proper technology for capturing methane gas. Landfill also can be treated as a source of heat. Enzymatic reaction occur between microbial and feedstock will release some amount of heat. Landfill also a source of feedstock that can be converted into fertilizer by composting technology. Methanol potentially produced from landfill but need more treatment and purification process before it can be fully utilized. According to the table shows the number of landfill available in Malaysia until 2030. As total, 166 of landfill are still operated. Meanwhile, 130 already closed due to the certain factors such as landfill lose the ability to perform degradation process. Unmanaged landfill will cause high accumulation of landfilling gas from biodegradation processes such as methane, carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and hydrogen sulfide. Degradation process is similar to anaerobic process. First of all, the degradation process will undergo the normal oxidation process, which is hydrolysis will take place to convert all organic dioxide into liquid form by involving a certain types of bacteria such as penicillin. One oxygen stock are finished, another type of anaerobic bacteria will further the process for acidogenesis, the conversion process from sugar into organic acid, protein into amino acid, and fat into fatty acid. Meanwhile, acetogenesis process will convert organic acid into lactose acid and last reaction is metagenesis process, conversion process from acetate from biodegradation process such as by involving carbon dioxide, nitrogen, and hydrogen sulfide will accumulate at landfill. Anaerobic process is slower process compared to aerobic. Aerobic, the hydrolysis process, it taking at least 9 months to complete reaction with optimum condition. For the global warming, there are several factors that influence the efficiency of the degradation process, especially for landfilling gas. First is the bacteria involved, biomass composition, time duration, moisture content, pH, and temperature to promote microbial activity. Thus lead to increasing health issues such as leptospirosis. A guideline on how to implement effective high accumulation of landfilling gas from biodegradation in Malaysia. We are in the situation in which the favorable condition is more commonly utilized on landfilling of this gas. Disposal in landfill is much more favorable as compared to waste prevention in our country. Thus, there is an urgency to mitigate the problem by trying to push the waste management system toward the most favorable option, which is waste prevention and high reduction of the methane gas in the landfill will increase potential for the case like the comprehensive study between Malaysia, Japan, and Ireland and MSW management. This is an advantage to know what are the effective measures taken by Japan and Ireland as they have the successful reduced the municipal solid waste generation gas from biodegradation processes such as in terms of waste prevention. Nitrogen and hydrogen Ireland have accumulated at multiple number of waste high concentration of this gas will lead to global warming issue. Within the perspective, Malaysia potential to the 21 times greater than carbon dioxide by the year of 2020. For the global warming, in Japan, the country has developed its highly flammable and home applying recycling technologies as high concentration of the methane gas in the landfill will increase potential for the case like the fire incident and the explosion of installing the recycling practice landfill will invite the rodent population moving on the biological treatment. Malaysia have led to increasing to prefer the practice of such a leptospirosis. capturing gas from biodegradation by providing composting carbon dioxide and nitrogen and hydrogen sulfide the use of home at landfill, high concentration of these gases for anaerobic digestion treatment in Malaysia holds great potential 21 times greater than carbon dioxide as a system has been developed to facilitate the system. On the other hand, in Japan, gas is a highly flammable. Biomass utilization technology has been performed. High concentration of anaerobic digestion in the landfill will increase potential for the case like the fire incident and explosion. On manure, biosolids, commercial waste and animal byproducts will invite a rodent population and mosquito for breeding, thus lead to increasing health issues such as leptospirosis.
Thank you, Salina. In the gasification method, only the Japan government has shown a record on the gasification facilities availability. In Japan, the gasification process is combined with incineration technology. Next, for incineration technology, compared to Japan and Ireland, Malaysia owns relatively small number of incinerators that 100% concentrates more on hazardous and clinical waste disposal. In Japan, the generation of dioxin has been successfully reduced in its incineration technology. In contrast with the first and second thermochemical treatments, there is no record found for pyrolysis technology application in all of the three countries. Last but not least, for the disposal strategy, landfilling in particular, is the most favorable measure taken in Malaysia, even though with poor management and systemic operation. In Japan, the government has strategized in developing advanced landfill systems. They have also upgraded the current landfill to a more effective semi-aerobic landfill. On the other hand, for Ireland, high tax levy and enforcement of landfill operation have been strictly regulated in the country in order to reduce waste generation. Through this comparative study of municipal solid waste management between Malaysia, Japan and Ireland, we have come out with several measures which can be incorporated and performed in our country to facilitate in the municipal solid waste reduction in the future. In the effort of creating a better Malaysia by improving the municipal solid waste management, the government can increase tax levy and improve the design and management of the landfill. Next, increasing public awareness through education and campaigns can be one of the way to go. In addition, more recycling facilities should be developed and the practice of owning and using home composting bin should be encouraged to each family in the society. The fourth measure that can be taken is to improve local technologies in the aim to create an affordable, reliable and effective incinerator. Plus, more strict enforcement should be done in the sorting of household waste. Finally, public initiatives also play an important role in municipal solid waste reduction by reducing food waste and practicing materials recycling.
Salina, we know that the reliance on landfills in Malaysia is very high. So what can we do? Maybe we can reuse and recycle the solid waste. Or maybe we can educate home composting. Spread awareness among them, and also treat the waste as the source opportunity. True enough. The solid waste impact might be seen very small, but the overall environmental impact is actually very high. There's a wise word says that we do not inherit the earth from our ancestors, but we borrow it from our children. Okay, with that, we both thank you. Bye.